Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I am your host, BitBoy. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different news stories. We're going to be talking about EOS, we're going to be talking about Amazon, we're going to be talking about Basic Attention Token, Ken, and also whether or not the SEC is law. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. But before we go any further, make sure you are a subscriber to the Bit Squad. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. If you do, you have a chance to win $500 worth of Ethereum and merch for October and November. So want to show you guys I got some new hats. How about this, guys? You guys like that? Woo, it looks good, doesn't it? So I know I've been wearing my black one for a while, but I finally got some new ones. I got a blue one, a red one, and a gray one. So the stitching on these things is really cool. It's like 3D or whatever. It juts out. It's not like flat on the hat. So you guys make sure you check out my website, bitboycrypto.com. I got some merch on there. And, you know, I think the hats are about the sweetest in crypto. So anyways, guys, let's move on and look at the market. So the markets today are doing quite well. For the first time in a long time, it feels like forever. It's really probably just been a few weeks, though. We've got an all-green day, pretty much. A lot of alts are pumping savagely. The market cap's at 138 billion. Bitcoin dominance, surprisingly, actually it's increased, even though some of the alts are pumping. But I think that's due to the fact that Bitcoin itself has had almost an 11% increase today, sitting at 42.41. We look at some of the biggest gainers, Stellar and Litecoin, both in my portfolio, loving that, over 10%. Cardano and Monero, also in my portfolio. And Tron pumping today at 22%, was up around 30% at some point, which is good. If you guys watched my Tron's Giving video last week, you know I finally made an investment in Tron, so already getting a return on that, so that's definitely good news. Now, I think it's kind of time to talk about the elephant in the room here, which is Bitcoin SV. And, you know, it has remained in the top 10, and we did have a brief time today where Monero passed Cardano and did get back into the top 10, but Bitcoin SV is kind of holding strong around that number 9 spot. Now, I don't think this is going to continue for a long time, but the elephant in the room with this pump today is we're looking at the prices. Maybe we've hit a bottom and we're finally moving back up. I hope you accumulated while you were down around the 35s. Not financial advice, of course, but for me personally, that's what I was trying to do, and I'm kind of kicking myself, wish I would have got more. We may eventually go back down further. I hope not, but if we don't, at least dollar cost average in at that point. But here's the thing, guys. Is it possible that the entire dump of the market was the Bitcoin Cash hash wars? Because when did it start? The day that it started. The day that it started is when we dropped from 64 down below 6K, and it stayed there. And the day the articles come out saying that the hash wars are over, now 2 days later, we're starting to get a pump, and a lot of people are feeling pretty confident due to the volume levels right now. It's not just the prices going up. The volumes are looking pretty impressive. And some people are thinking that this may last. Other people are still calling for us to go down lower. But it is nice to see a little bit of the sentiment change because it's been pretty rough lately. But is that possible? Is it this entire last few weeks has just been Bitcoin Cash and the hash wars pushing the price down, and now we've gotten a reprieve from that, and maybe we'll go back over 6 in a short period of time. And really all this was a period where you could accumulate for a very cheap price. So I hope that you did that. If it's something you are interested in doing is picking up more. I understand a lot of people are out of money. I get it totally. But, you know, just something to keep monitoring. So Amazon has made big news today. They have announced that they're going to be launching a new service for building blockchains. Basically means they're going to be providing an environment where companies can come in and work on blockchains and blockchain networks and scalability, which is big news because just last year they said that they weren't really interested in doing this, or maybe it was earlier this year, but they've changed their tune on it, once again proving the point that there really isn't a relationship in the price of cryptocurrency and the corporate sentiment about it. We do see articles coming out sometimes about companies saying, oh, we think this is going to crash or whatever it is. But for the most part, some of the biggest companies in the world have been working on blockchain projects in the bear market, proving that there is belief in this for long term. Now, Amazon also is going to be allowing places or companies to build on two different blockchains. They're going to be able to build on the Hyperledger Fabric, and they're also going to allow people to build on Ethereum. The Ethereum blockchain, though, is not available yet for people to build on with the Amazon services, but it will be in the future. So this is huge news for Ethereum as we see just more prospects, like I talked about in the video last night, of Ethereum bouncing back even harder. I also forgot to mention we are doing a live stream tonight, so if you guys are watching this video, make sure you come back to the channel at 10 p.m. We're going to be doing a BitSquad crypto chat. We're going to talk about all of this news and the markets and everything like that. So this was really just a video. We're going to run through a couple stories pretty quick and then maybe have the opportunity to talk about them more in depth later. So Dan Larimer claims new consensus idea to replace DPoS, which is very interesting. He says that crypto companies will hate this. He makes some very bold some very bold predictions, including that transactions will be almost free and that they'll be super, super, super fast, unlike anything we've seen in cryptocurrency before. But isn't that kind of what he was already working on with EOS? And it really makes me wonder if Dan Larimer may be leaving EOS at some point. He has a history of doing that to maybe work on whatever this new project is. He says crypto will hate it. So it's a little cryptic, no pun intended, on what he's actually saying here. But to me, it kind of screams maybe there's something else out there that he wants to go work on. So he does tie this into EOS, but the fact that this is going to be no more DPoS, which is basically delegated proof of stake, it means voting on the blockchain, or voting within a crypto project for the direction of the project. So now that's what EOS is built on. That's one of the foundations of it. And yet he's saying now they're going to do something totally different. So what if the EOS community doesn't want that? What if they don't want to move away from DPoS? Then that seems to lend to the idea that maybe he will do something else, which I think is a great possibility, which if that does happen, which I've told people and warned people over and over again, that I do believe this is something that will happen, that there are a lot of people that bought into this ICO based on Dan Larimer and what he brings to the table. So if he were to leave, in my opinion, that's going to be a terrible thing for EOS. A lot of people are going to feel very, very burned, and he's going to continue on with that reputation. Hopefully he's smart enough to understand all that and know that the next time he won't be able to get people to invest as easily, in my opinion. Speaking of Project Dan Larimer left, we have the bear market takes its toll on Steemit as 70% of their employees were laid off due to the result of an unsustainable revenue model. So this is just another casualty in the bear market. Hopefully maybe we're coming out of it, which would be really, really, really great. Of course, I don't know if that's true or not. It's just been one day. But, you know, the fact that people are now losing their jobs from projects that, while I don't like Steemit and I think it's a big failure on a lot of different levels, the fact is there are people there working that's what they're depending on for income to feed their families and things like that. So I can really feel for those individual employees for Steemit and what they're having to go through right now. So hopefully those people will be able to move on and find new jobs and things like that. And maybe the markets will turn around and they'll be able to hire maybe some of them back. So definitely a very interesting story on that. So found this tweet from Kevin Rook. I feel like I've used some of his tweets before. Maybe I haven't. But he says some of the world's largest websites already making money as Brave browser or as Brave publishers. Vimeo, The Guardian, Washington Post, Vice, CoinMarketCap, continuing to prove the fact that big companies are jumping into crypto. Big publications are jumping into crypto, even if it's only as a content creator to receive cryptocurrencies. It's very, very interesting. 8,100 websites are on the Brave browser publisher list, along with 19,000 YouTube channels. You can always support my channel with the Brave browser. You can support the channel by downloading it from the link I do have below in the video description. But if you are already using the Brave browser, you can delegate some of your tokens to this channel or whatever channels you want to reward. So it's really cool to see the Brave browser continuing to take off. It's my favorite project, one of my larger bags. I do love basic attention token. So, okay, guys, mobile forum giant Tapatalk will reward its 300 million users with Ken cryptocurrency. That sounded like a name. Hello, I'm Ken cryptocurrency. But anyways, Ken is from the messenger app. Kick is the larger company. Ken is the cryptocurrency project that they've been working on. And Tapatalk is a forum app. I've tried to use it before. I actually hate it. I think it's terrible. In my personal experience, I just haven't had a lot of good use with it. But maybe it's just because I didn't know how to use it that well. But I know it is really big. I've definitely been on some forums that have used the Tapatalk app. I know tons of people use it. Personally, I prefer to just go directly to the forum, whether it's through, even if I have to do it on desktop. But I'm not like real big on forums anyways. other than, I mean, I guess you could say Twitter in a way is a forum, but individual forums that are very segmented, that's not like something that I really do. So for me personally, while this isn't something that I'll get rewarded for, I do know that it's got 300 million users, so it's absolutely huge. And we're continuing to see companies, this is a theme throughout this entire video today. We're continuing to see companies want to weave their way into crypto, even if it's just as a partner with another cryptocurrency. So continuing to have really good bullish news all day today. So not really sure if this is bullish or bearish news. Don't really know how to classify this one. It's very interesting though. Judge to SEC, you haven't shown this ICO is a security offering. Now, I think a lot of us have been under the impression that the SEC is a government organization and we have to listen to what they say. However, that's not the case. The SEC is a commission. It's the Security and Exchanges Commission. However, it is not the law. So basically what the commission puts out as guidelines people must follow, once those violations are broken, then it's actually up to a judge to determine whether they want to put an injunction in or whatever the case may be. So we do have this case where Coinvest is basically on trial and the judge says, or maybe it's not Coinvest, I think it's, Blockvest, sorry, excuse me, not Coinvest, Blockvest. Blockvest is on trial right now about their ICO and the way they raise their money, and the SEC is asking for them to have an injunction filed against them, so they have to stop what they're doing, and yet the judge comes out and says, no, you have to prove to us that Blockvest is a security. We don't have proof that this is a security. Just because the SEC says it is doesn't mean that proof doesn't have to be provided. So I thought this was a very interesting story. I'm not really sure exactly what is going to come of it and, where this is going to go. But I think it just continues to show that the SEC does not really know what cryptocurrency is. They don't know how to explain it. And this goes across the board for a lot of the different commissions out there. They're having a hard time. And the fact that the CBOE ETF or the Van Eck Solid X ETF is going to be decided upon by February 27th, I don't know if there's enough time in years to explain to some of these older folks, no offense, to some of these older folks what cryptocurrency is and how to understand it, because the SEC, even after months and months of researching, still can't even really figure out what it is, and they certainly haven't provided a good way to prove to people that that different projects are securities. So very interesting that right now it seems like the SEC is going after a lot of different ICOs, but they've got to offer that proof. So we got to keep monitoring this and figure out where the regulation is going to go. So that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you tune in later tonight for our Bit Squad Crypto Chat. Until next time, BitBoy out.